Pro-government forces fought for hours with Nicaraguan protesters before seizing the town of Masaya, located 30 kilometers southeast of the capital, Managua. According to national human rights organizations, more than 300 people have been killed in clashes among mostly peaceful protesters and armed forces aligned with the government of President Daniel Ortega.
There is an escalation of violence and a diversification of the forms of repression. Now there are kidnappings, land grabs, invasion of houses to kidnap people in the early morning hours. The situation in Nicaragua is alarming and getting worse every day.
Tens of thousands of protesters call Ortega authoritarian and corrupt and demand his resignation. Street demonstrations against the Ortega government have continued since April, when he called for cuts to Nicaragua's Social Security program. It's designed to provide economic support and services to elderly, disabled, and underemployed people in one of Latin America's poorest nations. President Ortega, who has governed for 11 consecutive years, condemns the protest movement, accusing its leaders of being terrorists and leaders of organized crime.
If the coup-mongers want to reach the government, they'll need to seek the vote of the people. Let's see if the people will vote for the coup-mongers who have caused so much destruction.
Ortega led an armed revolution against a Nicaraguan dictator in the 1970s and 80s. He has been democratically elected as president in 4 separate elections. Ernesto Cardenal is one of Nicaragua's most renowned writers. He served as Minister of Culture during the first Sandinista government of Daniel Ortega and now denounces Ortega.
What's happening in Nicaragua is very tragic. We have lost the revolution. Sandino and the revolution have been betrayed. We do not have a government of the left. It is the dictatorship of Daniel Ortega and his wife.
As Nicaragua's deadliest political crisis since the 1980s continues, the United Nations has criticized a law passed by the country's National Assembly to arrest protesters and charge them with terrorism. Nicaragua's Ministry of Foreign Affairs strongly condemns the UN statement, calling it a manipulation of that Central American nation's sovereignty. Frank Contreras, CGTN.